Hello, everybody. I'm Maurice Brown. Welcome to the NFL training camp edition of the Maurice Brown Comedy Show. And we got training camp opening up already with rookies reporting. The LA Chargers rookies reported a couple of days ago, and the rest of the NFL teams, I'm sure, will follow suit with rookies only reporting over the next 3 to 5 days. And then the real training camps will start in earnest by the last weekend of July. So we're there. We're here. I'm ready. It's exciting. We love it. And we're here. And it's a beautiful thing. You're listening, by the way, as you watch this on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. You're also listening to bogradio.fm and kchftv.org 11 out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. I am Maurice Brown. I am going to be joined later on in the show by former college football standout Aaron Moore, coming to us from San Antonio, Texas. I'm in Austin, Texas. And as I talk about Texas, the Longhorns are the talk of the town. College football is going to be kicking off very soon. The Longhorns are going to be kicking off the season in Ohio at the Horseshoe as they take on the Buckeyes. That's going to be August 31. So football is in the air. Without question. And we are ready to talk a little NFL football. And the biggest news right now is, as we got who's the best this, who's the best that. What are the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL in your mind out there? Chime in. And I'd love to hear your opinion. But as I have them listed, we're going to go with Patrick Mahomes as still the best QB in the land. That's debatable, particularly the way he performed in the Super Bowl, but he's still Patrick. We got to make him number one. Followed by Josh Allen, who again got into a duel with Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship and again came up on the short end of the stick. But Josh Allen, heck of a quarterback. I got him at number 2. Then we're going to put Lamar Jackson at number 3. He really can't seem to get over the hump. I mean, Lamar Jackson, the same thing happens to him every year. He stumbles and he can't win the big game. And they went down to Buffalo, and I mean, he just didn't really show up. They didn't get it done, and it came up. It wasn't all his fault, but we're going to put Lamar Jackson at number 3. At number 4, Cool Hand Luke. We call him Joe Burrow, in fact. We're going to put him at number 4. Joe Burrow is he's just a baller, man. He's a gamer. They just don't have any defense in Cincinnati, but you're going to have to outscore the Bengals. So you better bring your A game on offense if you're going to beat them. But Joe Burrow, as good as it gets in the NFL, he ain't scared of Patrick. He ain't scared. He ain't scared of Patrick Mahomes. He ain't scared of Josh Allen. He's not afraid of Lamar Jackson or any of the big dogs in the NFL. He's bringing his A game. But he does not have a Super Bowl ring. He does have a Super Bowl appearance. Been nicked up the past few years. And the Bengals as a team, they just have a terrible defense. And they've lost a lot of games because they can't stop anybody. And that's not Joe's fault. But at the end of the day, you got to win games. So we're going to slide him at number 4. And then at number 5, I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, in his second Super Bowl, wins it this time, came very close the previous time, and he just balled out. And a lot of people said, well, if it comes down to Jalen Hurts, they're not going to win. Well, guess what? It came down to Jalen Hurts, and they won. I think he's underrated. I think Jalen Hurts is a guy that is benefited greatly by having Saquon Barkley on his team. I don't think there's any doubt about that. All that madness that went on a season before, Saquon Barkley seemed to kind of fix all the issues they were apparently having in their locker room. And they kind of got things together, and Jalen Hurts showed everybody that Jalen Hurts can be great when he needs to be great. So I'll put him in top 5. 2 Super Bowl appearances and a Super Bowl win, and they're looking to get another one. this year, quite frankly and honestly. I got him at number 5. Now, at number 6, I'm going to go with his division nemesis, Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, in my opinion, he and the Commanders, they go into Philadelphia and they gave the game away. I mean, I think, quite honestly, they should have won the game. I got, hey, what's up, Chewy's NFL News and Podcast? What's up? What's up? What's up? Looking at the top 10 right now, I'd love to get you to chime in on who you think should be in whatever position. I've got my 1 through 10s here, and I got Jaden Daniels at number 6. And again, I got to tell you, I thought they should have beat the Eagles. You know, Jaden Daniels had 3 crucial turnovers in that game. I think his running back gave the ball up, and his receiver gave it up twice. And that wasn't Jaden's fault. The Eagles benefited from it, and they got out of there. But I tell you, with no mistakes in this game, it's the Commanders going to the Super Bowl and beating the Chiefs worse off than the Eagles beat them. So I got Jaden Daniels at number 6. This kid's getting ready to be one of the best in the league. There's no doubt about it. Now, at number 7, let's look at Justin Herbert. Chewy's NFL News and Podcast, you've got Jared Goff at number 10, which I think that's fair. I've got Dak Prescott at number 10, and yeah, we can kick Dak off. I mean, I was just being nice to Dak anyway. I can go with Jared Goff at number 10, but I got Justin Herbert at number 7, and he's just got the best mechanics in the league. If you want to see a quarterback and try to understand what a quarterback's supposed to look like and how he's supposed to drop back and fire the ball, watch Justin Herbert. On the other side of that, don't have a whole lot of playoff wins by Justin and the Chargers. And there are games where he does not show up when you need him to, and he's got to work on that. Heck of a quarterback, though. He's in the top 10, no question. I got him at number 7. Number 8, I got Matt Stafford. He can still spin it. He's getting up there in age, but I think he's going to have the LA Rams in the hunt this year for a Super Bowl. I mean, they were really close last year. He was missing weapons, like Cooper Kupp was out a lot, and Puka Nacua was out a lot. His 2 primary receivers, and he still made do. And they almost, did some damage in the playoffs. They didn't get to the Super Bowl, but they were good. And I think they can get there this year. I'm going to put Matt Stafford at number 8. Number 9, I've got Jordan Love, because now he's being paid, a lot of money to deliver for Green Bay. And I expect him to do that. I think last year he got banged up, was hurt most of the season. The Packers benefited by winning a couple of ball games off Malik Willis, who they acquired from Tennessee. And I think that Jordan heard some footsteps coming up on him when he saw Malik win those games. I think he rushed himself back, and the Packers mistakenly allowed him to get back out there when he really wasn't quite ready. But we know that Jordan Love's a heck of a quarterback, and I expect him to be healthy this year. And I think the Packers are going to do some damage with Jordan Love. At number 10, I've got Dak Prescott. Chewy's NFL News and Podcast chimed in with Jared Goff, and I would agree with that. I miss Jared Goff, and I'm going to make that distinction right now. That was a mistake on my part. I mean, Dak Prescott's got a lot to prove as far as I'm concerned. So I think that Jared Goff should definitely be on this list. Now, Jared Goff, he upset a lot of fans last year by not getting. He played horribly in the playoffs. I think he threw like 2-3 picks. I think he was responsible for 3, if not 4 turnovers. It might have been. He went out real bad. But Jared Goff, now no Ben Johnson, is going to have to show that he can get it done without having key coordinators surrounding him. So I've got Jared Goff rounding out the top 10. You could go with Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott has a lot to prove. but I'm going to take him off the list. Thank you, Chewy's NFL podcast, for correcting me on that. I think Goff has to go in that spot. Let's look at the next NFL headline here, and we're going to look at J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings could have had Aaron Rodgers and elected to stick with J.J. McCarthy, who's coming off an Achilles tendon tear and would have been the starter last year had he not torn his Achilles. And so they're thinking that he can get it done. Now, I'm not so sure about that. I would have, I don't know. To me, he's a complete unknown. You got a guy that's not taking an NFL regular season snap. And the question is, can he do what Sam Darnold did? Well, we didn't expect Sam Darnold to do that. What do we know about Sam Darnold other than what he did last year? Come on, guys, let's be 100 about this. He's been a flat-out bum, okay, in the NFL, and then he pulls off an MVP-type season, leading the Vikings to 14 wins. And then he went out, really badly in the playoffs. He did not show up against the Lions in the season finale, and he didn't show up in the playoffs against the Rams. He looked really bad. But and now we got J.J. McCarthy, again, a virtual unknown. And so you wonder, can he do what Sam Darnold did? I think he can, because if Sam Darnold is who we think he is, I think he can do that. And my cousin says she loves my hat. Thank you, cuz. But yeah, I don't know about J.J. McCarthy. But I'll tell you this, if he can get it done, you're looking at the Vikings now, a team that could go to the Super Bowl. Because what Sam Darnold could not do, well, hey, maybe J.J. McCarthy can. He won a national championship when he was with the Michigan Wolverines when he played for Jim Harbaugh. So, yeah, he could possibly do that. I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, he could probably do what Sam Darnold did. He's got, weapons around him. He's got Jordan Addison. He's got Justin Jefferson. He's got Aaron Jones from Green Bay. They've got a good defense. I think he can get it done. Let's switch to the next headline and look at Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. I was just talking about them. If the Lions, is this a Super Bowl or bust season for Jared Goff? That's the bottom line question. As I mentioned before, he didn't look good in the playoffs. I mean, he really did not look good at all. I mean, matter of fact, it could be said that he lost that game for the Lions. And there are times when Jared Goff can come out there. It didn't happen a lot, but it did happen a time or two when he came out there and threw 4 picks in a game. He has that penchant to just totally just screw the ball game up. So, so not often though. I mean, the Lions are a Super Bowl contending team. Fully expected them to get to the Super Bowl last year. They're going for their 3rd straight NFC North title this year. The only thing they're missing is Ben Johnson, who's now with the Bears. Good luck, Ben. But yeah, I think it is a Super Bowl or bust season for Jared Goff. I mean, they're gonna have to get it done this year, and all this. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone. I think this is a year they got to get it done. Let's switch over to the Washington Commanders and Jaden Daniels. And the question is he ready to be compared to Lamar Jackson? Is he the NFC version of Lamar Jackson? Well, the guy can run. He can scramble. You can't catch him. And he's got something Lamar Jackson has really yet to prove, and that is a great arm, accurate arm. He's got a strong arm, and he's got an accurate arm, and he can read defenses and dissect them from the pocket, as well as running out of the pocket and getting first downs. So you could argue that Jaden Daniels is better right now than Lamar Jackson. And I think he can have the If and I'd love to hear your responses on that out there. If you have a slant or an opinion on that, but I think Lamar Jackson, I'm sorry, Jaden Daniels is a Super Bowl ready quarterback right now. I mean, the Commanders have found their quarterback, and they've got a good team, and they got Deebo Samuel from San Francisco. Um, they've got a lot of weapons on that team, and they gave the game up last year, in my opinion. I know if was a fifth, we'd all be inebriated. I understand that, but the fact is, the Commanders, to me, gave that game away. So 3 turnovers in a championship game, you're going to lose. You can just go ahead and write it down. And even at that, they still made some attempts almost to get back in the ball game. So you take those turnovers away, Commanders win that game with no problem. And we're not talking about Jalen Hurts. We're not talking about Saquon Barkley. We're not talking about Nick Sirianni. You're not talking about any of them. Matter of fact, some of them may be gone. Sirianni in particular. If the Commanders had won that game and gone on the Super Bowl and won it, which I think that's exactly what they would have done. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do this year. Bar a major injury, barring some monumentally stupid decisions. And here's the other thing, too, about the Commanders. All the monumentally stupid stuff with the exit of Dan Snyder, that's out. That's not going to happen. You got a solid organization over there. They know what they're doing. They're letting football people make football decisions, and they're getting personnel to execute their decision. Just watch them play. These are not the Commanders / Redskins we've watched for the last 23, 24 years. They're not the same guy. You got to get that out of your mind. This is a Commander team that has now gone back to what we used to think of the Washington Redskins franchise, which are now the Commanders. Dominant. They've always had smart people in their front office. They've always had smart people making decisions on the field. They've always had that. That's been their history. And with Dan Snyder at the helm, that was lost. It was nothing but chaos over there at what was once called Redskin Park. So now they're the real deal. You get a guy like Dan Quinn, who's been to the Super Bowl already with the Falcons. And he's running your team on the field. And oh my gosh. So yeah, watch out. I'm saying this as a Green Bay Packer fan, so I hate saying this, but I gotta be football 101 here. The Washington Commanders are a Super Bowl team. And yes, Jaden Daniels is ready to be compared to Lamar Jackson. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, I think he's better than Lamar. And that will show itself as we get into the season, whether or not that's true or how much truth there is to that. We're going to switch to another topic. We're going to look at who are the top 10 football teams in the NFL right now. That's a good conversation to have. Well, I think we got to start with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, hey, after all, they've got the ring, right? And nothing's changed. They've got the same people in place that they had last year. And I'm going to say this, and I said it all year last year. The reason they're so dominant is because of one guy and one guy only, and his name is Saquon Barkley. The idiot New York Giant franchise let the best running back in the entire NFL walk right out of their doors. How you do that, I don't know. But then when I look at what they had prior, and they decided to keep Daniel Jones instead of Saquon Barkley. They got exactly what they deserve. So I look at the Philadelphia Eagles and I go, okay, because you got to remember Philadelphia was a mess before Saquon arrived. But he got there. He brought that team together. They've always had good talent in Philadelphia. Something happened in the locker room. I don't know if it was Nick Sirianni that they had a problem with. I don't know if there were personalities. I don't know. But when Saquon got there, they got themselves together. They're the best team in the NFL, followed by the Washington Commanders, who I am predicting are going to go to the Super Bowl this year and win it all. But they got to go out there and do it. That's my prediction, but they're right there behind Philadelphia. I don't think there's anyone else in the NFC for real that can challenge the Eagles like the Commanders. And there's some other good teams in the NFC. The Vikings I expect to be very good. The Packers are going to be very good. The 49ers I expect to be very good. The Rams I expect to be very good. But the Eagles and Commanders are the two best teams in the NFC. And for my money, they're the two best teams in the NFL. So I got the Commanders, and I went on ad infinitum about how impressed I am with the Commanders. So I'm going to go to number 3 and talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. And the question is, what in the world happened to Kansas City? I mean, I expected them to win the Super Bowl last year. And not only did they not win the Super Bowl, they looked like complete, utter garbage. The final score, I think, was 41-22, something like that. And I get those are garbage points. I mean, they were getting lambasted by Philly. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I mean, Philadelphia's not that good. Well, the way they rolled over the Kansas City Chiefs, you would figure they would have to be. But I'm looking at the Chiefs. I'm like, what happened to Kansas City? They didn't look like the same Chiefs to me. Now, Travis Kelce and that little girl, Taylor Swift, I'll tell you what, that girl got him so tired, he can't even stand up and run a route. He's so tired. So that's not good liaison right there. He's going there. I don't know what Travis Kelce is. He going to retire and just follow his girlfriend on tour? I don't know what he's going to do. He didn't look like Travis Kelce much of last season. And, then you look at the blocking the Chiefs provided for Patrick wasn't really that good. But they're still the Chiefs. And Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. And I expect them to win a lot of games this year, 11, 12, 13, 14 games. But I don't think they're the best team in the NFL anymore. And they're going to have to figure it out. I mean, they've got people to do it. Andy Reid is as fine a coach as you can have. But they're not the best team in the NFL anymore right now, in my opinion. At number 4, I've got the Buffalo Bills. I've got Buffalo at number 4 because they have a problem beating Kansas City. They put up a lot of points. Josh Allen is a bad man back there. He can run it. He can throw it. He can do everything. But they can't beat Kansas City. And until they can prove to me that they can do that, I can't give Buffalo full props. They've got a lot to prove. And if anyone has an opinion on that, please feel free to chime in, add your opinion. But Buffalo, a very good team. Expect them to win a lot of games again this year, 11, 12, 13, 14 games. But they've got to perform in playoff situations against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think that's kind of like their kryptonite. It's just he sees Patrick Mahomes, and it's not like they don't make it close. They put up these epic games that just can't get over the hump. At number 5, the Baltimore Ravens, another team that can't get over the hump, and it's Lamar Jackson. And it's not all Lamar's fault, but he's the man that you're paying all the money to. You go out and you bring in a battering ram like Derrick Henry, and you've got pieces on offense, and this is surely now the year, last year, that we were all thinking the Ravens win it all. You take pressure off of Lamar. Now you have to worry about two hugely intimidating offensive factors in Lamar and Derrick Henry. And they won a lot of games. They lost some puzzling games, but they had a really good season, and they go up to Buffalo and they can't get it done. Made a lot of mistakes in that game. And it wasn't all Lamar's fault. There were some other mistakes made in that game, but it lends itself to a choking factor when you think about the Baltimore Ravens. They'll be back again this year, the whole team, and they should win the whole thing. The Ravens are good enough to win the whole thing without a doubt. Let's see what happens. This is a team that's loaded up. I got them at number 5. At number 4, I've got the Detroit Lions. I've got Detroit there, and I've got Jared Goff. I mentioned him a moment or two ago about a guy. He's got games where he'll just turn the ball over like 4 or 5 times, and he did it in the playoffs last year. The Lions are really good. They take a lot of chances. Dan Campbell loves to go for it on 4th down, loves to go for it on 4th down, loves to go for it on 4th down, loves to go for it on 4th down. Hey, what down is 4th down? They're going for it. All right. What is it? 4th and 26? Yeah, they're going for it. So at some point, that's going to catch up to you. I just don't believe you can win a Super Bowl by gambling that much. Heck, they haven't even been in the Super Bowl playing that way yet, but they're really good, and I got them at number 6. At number 7, I got the San Francisco 49ers. Fully expected the 49ers to get back to the Super Bowl last year. Now, they had a lot of injuries. A lot of people got hurt, and they had a lot of infighting. Deebo Samuels is now with the Commanders because he wasn't getting along with teammates. And Christian McCartney, always injured. Trevor Williams, the offensive tackle, Trent Williams, best offensive tackle in the league, was getting old. He missed a lot last year because of injury, and he wasn't available a lot of times. And I forget the other wide receiver's name that they actually extended him, but again, there was infighting going on. And then there's Brock Purdy, who I didn't even have on my top 10 quarterback list. But you look at Brock Purdy and you go, he's a good quarterback. He's just not a stud of a quarterback. He's not a guy that you can depend on to go win the game for you. He can execute your game plan as long as he's got other big dogs around him. He's good. But I don't know if you're gonna win a Super Bowl, you need a quarterback that can go win it. I'm going to win this game. I got this. That's not who Brock Purdy is. And if they're going to get that done, he's going to have to prove that he's the dude. So I got him at number 7. I don't think the 49ers are as dominant as they have been in the recent past, but I do think they're very good still, and I got them at number 7. At number 8, I have the LA Rams, and I could easily flip-flop 7 and 8. But I have the LA Rams at 8. They're a team that's coming, and they may very well win the NFC West. And if you catch the Rams on the wrong day, they can beat you in the playoffs and end up in the Super Bowl. Very good team. Matthew Stafford can still spin it. You got Puka Nacua and you've got Cooper Kupp. Now, both of them got hurt a large chunk of last season, and Cooper Kupp gets hurt all the time. So those are elements that make you wonder about the Rams. Can they stay healthy? Can Matt Stafford get through another year? He's up there. I mean, he's like 35, 36 years old. He's an old quarterback. Still, can he give you another good year? There are questions there with the Rams, but I do believe they're good. And if things kind of all fall together for them, they can find themselves right in the Super Bowl and win it again. So they're intriguing. Let's switch to number 9. This is my team, the Green Bay Packers, and I may have them too high just because they're my team, but I got the Green Bay Packers at number 9. Jordan Love spent most of the year injured and was not able to do a lot. Matter of fact, I've got joining us now former college football standout Aaron Moore. Aaron, what's going on, Too Tall?
How you doing, sir? Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I'm going over the top 10 teams expected going into 2025-26 season. And I'd love to hear your commentary on this. I've been talking about Philly. I got them at 1, Commanders at 2, Chiefs 3, Bills 4, Ravens 5, Lions 6, 7 and 8 is the 49ers, Rams, Packers 9, and Chargers 10. And what I said at the beginning of my discussion on this list, I gave Philly number 1 just because they got the ring. But when I look at the Commanders and how they lost that NFC Championship game, and I know if it was a 5th, we'd all be inebriated. I get that. But when I look at the way the Commanders lost that game, they gave that game away to the Eagles with 3 mindless turnovers, something they haven't been doing all year. It was just one of those games where they just gave the ball up, and you can't win a championship game when you give the ball up like that. But I tell you right now, you take those turnovers away, Commanders are going to the Super Bowl, and guess what? They're winning the Super Bowl. Worse than that, the Eagles beat the Chiefs. I mean, they were blowing the Chiefs right out of the state. So I'm predicting the Commanders are going this year and they're going to win the whole thing. What's your commentary on that and the list?
Well, but first, I like the list. I think some honorable mentions should be mentioned. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think, should be mentioned. Honorable mention. I like them. I also like the well, actually, it's a good list. Now, I am intrigued about the Rams. I was watching NFL replay, the Rams and Eagles game. The Rams should have won that game.
Oh, they did. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I just watched it. I just watched it the other day. The Rams gave that game away. They had a lot of drop passes, turnovers. They turned the ball over in their own red zone. Was a gimme score for for Philadelphia. I could say if they played that game again, but played it on a clean surface, I think Rams run away with that game.
Yeah,
but
yeah, totally agree.
In my mind, but yeah, I think these are the teams to look for coming up with. Tampa Bay and Denver was my other team that I have honorable mentions in. That probably could be in the mix in this. But other than that, yeah, I think the Commanders have a good shot. We need to get Terry in there. We need to get Terry signed. But I like the additions we made. A lot of teams made some good. Like you said, I think San Francisco. I just think they don't have enough pieces to support Brock. But I think Buffalo has a good chance. Again, their kryptonite is Kansas City and Mahomes, as we like you said earlier. So they need to get over that hurdle. So but yeah, I think these are the teams that at the end of the day could say they have a chance to win in Lombardi, and I mean, if I don't want to say it, but if you want to throw, I'm gonna say it, Chicago in there.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably the last team that I would throw in there. They got the new head coach coming in. I think he's gonna make that team better. At least the offense will be better. I think the defense was decent last year. So I think Caleb Williams will be better. But other than that, I think those are the teams that really has a shot to come out the NFC and the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when you look at the the Eagles and the Commanders, because what was weird last year in the Super Bowl, they just made Kansas City look really bad. I mean, they just rolled over them. But you mentioned the Ram game, I mentioned the Commander game, and I'm like, I'm not trying to disrespect Philly, but they're not all that to me. Like they can be beaten.
Yes.
And so I just think they have to watch over their back in the NFC, because ain't nobody scared of them in the NFC.
Nobody's really scared of the Philadelphia. The only thing going into a Philadelphia game is we have to stop Saquon Barkley.
That's the guy you got to stop.
I mean, that's really the only person you don't want hurting you. I would rather lose Hurts throwing 350 yards and 3-4 TDs. Okay, if Hurts beat me like that, Then he just woke up on the right side of the bed that day and had some. I don't know what he had for breakfast, but he should have it all the time. But
Yes.
because he doesn't play like that.
No.
Like you want him to throw because you know he's gonna make a mistake. So if you shut down Barkley, and we all know if they didn't have Barkley last year, they wouldn't have been in that position.
No, they would not have been in that position. You got to remember what was going on in Philly prior to the arrival of Barkley. They were in disarray.
They started out 10-1, and then everything the house collapsed.
And that was a year prior.
Yes.
They were 10-1. The house collapsed. They went into, oh gosh, I guess Barkley came the following year.
Yeah, and then remember the head coach was on the hot seat.
Well, he was on the hot seat. And I made the comment that had the Commanders gone in there and played a clean game, they would not only have won it, but the following season may have been absent Nick Sirianni.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then that leads me to my next point here as I look at these teams. You know, my next question is, can Nick Sirianni, I mean, you got to look at all of the success that these guys had. The Commanders, I keep wanting to call them the Redskins. But you look at the Eagles, you go, are the Eagles a Super Bowl winner because of Hurts, Sirianni, or Barkley? And the answer is Barkley.
Correct.
And Nick Sirianni, you don't have a job if you get knocked out, heck, by the Rams.
Yes.
You know, even you are gone. Mm-hmm. And then you look at Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts, but I think if you put a decent quarterback in that lineup with Saquon Barkley, you have a shot to win the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have the number one defense in the NFL. That defense doesn't get nearly the credit they should be getting.
Yeah, and that helped them out a lot too.
That's the number one defense. So it's a lot of things that you can say about that. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. No disrespect to the good fans of Philadelphia. You got your ring. I also say, watch out. Watch your back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Watch your back. I'm telling you, there's some teams in the NFC. And I first of all, I got the Commanders going to Super Bowl. They're going to get their revenge on the Eagles. And I think the Eagles know what's up.
Mm-hmm.
But I also am not going to throw away teams like Green Bay, San Francisco, the Rams. Mm-hmm. I'm not throwing the Vikings out. I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater just because Darnold's gone. Mm-hmm. I mean, J.J. McCarthy, hey, I don't know if I can write the Vikings off. You know, the Eagles they're going to have some mad squabbles in the NFC, dude. I'm telling you right now, they are going to have some. Yeah. And so I don't know about the Dallas Cowboys. I think that's a team we always kind of go, they got a lot of talent, but same old problems. They get George Pickens from Pittsburgh. What's your opinion of the acquisition of George Pickens?
I think it's going to help Dak out. Well, even when Dak is healthy, they do have a winning record. When Dak plays, they usually are in the playoff contention, race.
Yeah.
So I think with Pickens, it's going to help, but I think in some circumstances it can hurt them as well.
Yeah.
It's just, when is the grenade going to go off? Like,
yeah, when's the grenade going to go off? That's it right there.
Man, we have a 2-3 game losing streak, and one A or 1B receivers not getting the looks, and they believe if I get more looks, then we have a better chance of winning. It only take one time for a mic to be in your face, and you upset, and you say something, the media gonna run with it.
Yeah,
that's all it takes. Only thing somebody could be tying their shoe or get up and say, "I need the ball more," and walk away and say something something else, and the media gonna run with it, and then but I think Schottenheimer got a lot on his hands. Especially being Jerry's world and Jerry calling down to the sideline, so it's gonna be a lot. And I got Dallas finishing third in the division, in my opinion.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. I
Yeah.
think that and we've said it, ad infinitum before, but the Cowboys have the same problem that the Commanders have for 23, 25 years, and you got a bad owner. You have a bad owner. He won't stay out of football business. He keeps calling down to the sideline in the middle of games, bugging the coach. And Schottenheimer is a perfect puppet. The only name that he's got is his dad's name. This is not Marty Schottenheimer. This is Brian Schottenheimer. So you're a puppet. He's going to be used as such by Jerry Jones. And you got all that talent on that team, and it's going to be wasted. They might even win 12 games, but they'll find a way. That grenade going to go off.
Find a way.
That thing going to go off.
And if you look at the coaches he had when he had success, all them coaches were personality dominated minds. They were alpha males where, look, Jerry, this is my way or the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And they wasn't afraid to communicate that with Jerry.
Yeah.
And he don't like, look, you win a Super Bowl with Jimmy Johnson, and then you get rid of him.
Yeah.
You bring in Bill Parcells, changes around. I think Bill Parcells wanted to leave, though. I think that's a little different situation. But you could have read off in the sunset with Jimmy Johnson, and I don't know how many Super Bowls they would have won with him. But you wanted to do it your way. And he has come out and said that was a mistake of him firing Jimmy, so Coach Johnson, and he admitted to that, but he just can't stay out of his way. He wants to get the credit. And he wants to do it his way. Time is ticking, though. I mean, I don't know. Yes, time is ticking.
Time is definitely ticking. So
I know he better be praying to the Lord like Hezekiah did and extend some years on his life, because he gonna need it if he try and get it up a Super Bowl.
You got that right. You can add Elijah, Moses, and Jesus Christ. But anyway, look, let me. Hey,
it's gonna be. He just got to find a way just to step. But I don't think he hired the right coach.
Right.
Because first of all, that wasn't his first choice. I mean, you could see that by the process. And it was like, let's just hire Schottenheimer because he's here, he's in the building, and everybody know him. So let's just give him a chance. So
yeah,
that wasn't his first choice. So I don't think it's going to end well.
I don't either. That division is not only the division, but the conference belongs to Philly and the Commanders. But we will see. That's why they play the games. Now, I want to switch gears to the AFC. Look at the Cleveland Browns real quick. You got Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, and Joe Flacco. And my question to you is, should Shedeur Sanders be QB1? Let's stop playing around. Or should they go with the veteran Flacco 4 or 5 games and slide Shedeur in? What's your opinion on
that? First of all, I think Flacco should be the starter.
Okay.
Just because he has played so much football, and he's really a coach on the football field. And I think with Shedeur, for him to be, successful is he has to see how, when it comes to game day and everyday preparation, how Flacco prepares. And especially being on the sideline during game day and seeing different things, a call coming in and he audibled and he's sitting over there. Okay, why did you audible? And he's telling the coach why he audible. They did this. We need to do this. Like I think he needs to see. I think sometimes we see these, these organizations throwing quarterbacks in it too quick and they're not ready. And then you're like, oh, he's a bust. It's not really he was a bust. It's just he wasn't ready to be in there yet. So I think we so microwavable quarterbacks, so it's just like, nah, let's not force him in there. Give him a chance to well, frankly, first of all, he has to beat out the guy, the third round pick they drafted before him. So I think he needs just to come in, do what he need to do. Don't worry about being the starter. Prepare like the starter. Prepare you are the guy. Prepare like you are the guy, and just come down, take it a day at a time, and get ready for that time that you're gonna be in there on that preseason drive. And what am I going to do to get my team down there to get a score? So I think that needs to be his mindset. The first preseason game, he gets in there and just play like he always played. And I think eventually when his time comes, he will be prepared. But I don't think he should. I think Flacco should be the starter going into the season.
I think that by the numbers, you're correct. Joe Flacco, the veteran, let him start first 2-3 games, and then you slide in. Because let's be real, Kenny Pickett, I don't want you to do anything but holding the ball. You my placeholder. That's your job. Okay. And then Dylan Gabriel, to me, is a guy that I think he needs to be holding a clipboard. He's not to me. I don't think Dylan Gabriel is a starter. I think Shedeur Sanders is a starter. Mm-hmm. I think he was hugely disrespected by not being drafted by a lot of teams. Barely actually got drafted, and it was totally out of disrespect for his name. But you look at him as a player, he is an excellent quarterback. He did a great job in college, and I would start him right off the rip only because Joe Flacco, to me, has been in the league too long. And, I'm looking at Joe Flacco, and I'm like, you had some nice runs with Indy. You had a nice run with Cleveland prior to Indy, and then we found out you're too old. So I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, I appreciate Flacco as a what you call a safety net. Like, if we have to go with you, Joe, that's what we're going to do. But I need you to be able to be in Shedeur's ear and being his quarterback coach.
But it is easier to pull Flacco, Flacco, than if you had Shedeur in there to pull Shedeur and sit him. Because remember, you got 50, 60 some other guys on that roster trying to win. So you also can't, put Shedeur in, he throw 4 picks in the game and be like, dang, if we would have had Flacco in there, we would have won this game. But we got to ride the ship. You don't want to do that. The Browns are trying to win, Now, if you get 4 or 5 mid-season and you only win 2 games, you're like, all right, Flacco, we're going to put Shedeur in. And you put him in, he could have them mistakes, and people not really going, trip. It's, let's see if he get better from these mistakes.
Yeah.
Instead of going into the season like that, and then you have people on the team like, are they giving up on the season? Like, what are we doing?
Yes.
You see, so it's easier to pull Flacco, sit Flacco, and put Shedeur in and let him go for the rest of the season, than put Shedeur in, and if he's struggling, to bring him out and then put Flacco in. So it's I always like to go with the veteran, and then if he struggles, it's easier just to put the young kid in there and then just let him take over.
Let's switch gears and look at the NFC South. Is it time to start putting respect on Baker Mayfield's name?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he found a home. He found a home in Tampa Bay. And I think he found a home. He consistently winning in Tampa Bay, always had great numbers in Tampa Bay. It's a better organization he came into. Just think about the time when he was with the Rams. I think he got picked up on a Tuesday, and then he had to play on a Thursday, and he went in there and played well. That's not an easy thing to do. And
No,
Mayfield pulled it off, and they won that game. So it's like when he went to Tampa Bay, yeah, he found a home in Tampa Bay. I think he's a excellent starter, excellent. I think he's an excellent leader, excellent motivator. I think he learned a lot from being a number 1 overall pick going into it. And remember, he did take the Browns to the playoffs. Remember that.
He did. He
took them to the playoffs, so he kind of turned them. They was on the right track with Baker, and I think he said it himself. He played when he shouldn't have played. He was hurt. Shoulder was hurt. He was banged up, and he tried to force his way to play through injury. He said he should have sat, but his play took a hit. But when he went to Tampa Bay, better organization, better team, better players around him. Got Mike Evans over there. You got this better whole situation. And I think he felt when he went into Tampa Bay, the pressure's not all on him to make a play. Like, he got all these weapons here. Let them make plays. Yeah. The only thing he has to do is not make mistakes, Now, when he turned the ball over a couple of times, of course he will. Yeah, he will. But I think he found a home in Tampa Bay. They found a quarterback, and I think they can win with him.
I'm going to have to give Baker some respect. I didn't have any for him. When he left Cleveland, I was done with him. I thought he was a bust, and I thought he was going to be out of the league before you knew what happened. But he did show that he's a tough, gaming quarterback. He won't back down. He will keep pitching that rock, and he will hang in there. And what he's done in Tampa has been very impressive to me. Like, I've been wanting to write this dude off for a minute. And I look up and I'm like, oh my gosh, he did it again. He did it again. I didn't expect him to do that. After a while, you're like, okay, you know what? I gotta give the guys respect. He's balling. Mm-hmm. Okay. Baker Mayfield and the Bucs, they're balling. Okay. And if you think that you're going to dismiss them in the playoffs and you got yourself a win or what, you better think again. They'll send you home. The Bucs will send you home if you don't go in there with your A game. They will send you packing, Jack. So I learned that from Baker. I mean, I said, I'm going to leave him alone. It's like, okay, all right, Baker. Okay, dude, I got you. I got you. So, because I've seen him do that, with my team. I'm like, you had the nerve to go into Lambeau Field and show off? Mm-hmm. And wasn't anything we can do about it. And we had to take it. So, and he's done it time and time again, Sunday after Sunday. And I think we have to look at the Bucs. And I like the fact that you made the Buccaneers an honorable mention, because I'm telling you, they're the one team that can spoil the party for everybody. Mm-hmm. Okay, we act like they're just there. They're not just there. All you got to do is ask the Lions. You can ask the Lions. You can ask Green Bay. You can ask the Vikings. You can ask, I don't know if you can ask Philly. You can ask the Commanders. Mm-hmm. Okay, whether or not you want to play them in the first round of the playoff. You just ask them and say, oh, no. So I think, and again, I got to go back to the fact they're the one team that can spoil the party for everybody. Like, nobody saw the Bucs sitting in the Super Bowl. Like, that's not an impossible idea. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's time to stop disrespecting them. I know I'm done disrespecting Baker. Heck of a ball player. With that said, we're going to have to get out of here, and we're going to get Stu on the show next week. He said he'll be here next week, and he was pretty busy with something. And because training camp, the rookies reported to Charger camp about 3 days ago. Mm-hmm. So, and I said this earlier on the show, I expect the rest of the NFL teams to start bringing their rookies in within the next few days.
Yep.
So basically what I'm saying is we've started training camp.
It's football season now.
It's football season. It's football season, So I want to start just looking at these shows, doing these shows now, and just kind of looking at the land. We haven't even covered a quarter of the things that I wanted to talk about today. There's so many storylines that's going on. I mean, I wanted to talk about the Bears a little bit because I'm not ready to dismiss them because of the changes they've made. They've made a lot of changes. The Bears have made a lot of changes. And I think Caleb Williams, given the right circumstances, could be a very good NFL quarterback. There's a lot I wanted to say about them as well. I wanted to talk about the Raiders. We'll get back to them next week as well because I like Geno Smith and Pete Carroll and some of the changes they made over there in L.A. They got that. What's the guy's name? The edge rusher for the Raiders. Is it Max? What's the guy's name?
Max Crosby.
Max Crosby. Well, I mean, he's arguably best in the game. You could throw out my man that got injured for the Lions. You throw TJ.
Yeah.
What was the guy's name? Aiden Hutchinson. And you throw TJ Watt out there, and he's every bit as good as they are. The Raiders, they could be real interesting, which can make the AFC West real interesting because here comes Denver. We already know that she's going to be. Here come the LA Chargers. You know what I'm saying? Dude, this is going to be a really fun year. I'm just telling you. It's going to be fun. But I got my Super Bowl pick already out there with the Commanders. That's my Super Bowl pick. That's the best team in the NFL. They are scary. They are scary, scary, scary. So, yeah, man. But anyway, with that being said, we're going to get out of here on that note. We'll talk to you guys next week. If you came out of the end, catch us on Spotify, where all major podcasts are heard. And, of course, bogradio.fm, any random Monday through Friday, and kchftv.org. Out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, you can hear the Maurice Brown Comedy Show. And so until then, everybody stay safe, and may the peace of Christ be with you and your families. God bless.